to the police department. He's not an expert in anything like all of us. We learn, we work off one another. He's not afraid to teach, and we're not afraid to learn from him. Timmy has been a leader in that department as a patrolman. He doesn't have rank, but he works as hard as he would if he was a captain in that department, like he said. And in a small department like ours, everybody needs to know everything in order to make it to work. And as these officers go, this is a tough job we do. And people don't see what goes on behind those doors. You know, it's going 24/7. There's never day off. You may leave there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but you're going 24/7. And he was that guy. If something was wrong or something, page went out. We had some type of situation and we needed help. He was one of the officers to call and say, "What can I do for you?" and lend a hand. I look at that as dedication to the department, to the citizens more than the department. So I'm going to miss him. I wish him well. And if you never need a job, the door's open. If I got to leave to open it, the door's open. So Tim, I'm happy for you in one way, for your family, but I wish you well over there. I wish you to stay safe, and you know, don't ever forget where you've come from, and you're always welcome back, is what I have to say to you. So this represents Timmy's work history, I guess. This patch was designed by Billy Waters. This patch was designed by myself, Chief Waters, I should say. That's his badge, badge number 6, and he loved the motorcycle, which he can't ride anymore because Lynn don't have it. And a small thing I'm going to have Matt read, because I don't think I've got it.
It says, Officer Furlong is a true leader. His tireless work ethic and professionalism has set the tone for the rest of the department. The Nahant Police Department wishes you the very best of luck with the Lynn Police Department. Thank you for your 13 years of dedicated service to the citizens of Nahant. Stay focused, and most importantly, stay safe. It's from the Chief Waters.
Right here. You know, the chief said you were an excellent police officer. You're beyond that. We appreciate what you did.
Thank you.
And the time you spent here. You've been an excellent police officer, and I mean that.
Thank you very much.
I'm telling you, you worked, I see you up in the details, working the town, you've been nice to the people, you know? I appreciate the warnings you wrote. I'm only joking, but Timmy, we're gonna miss you.
Chief,
You've been a fine, fine police officer.
I appreciate
And believe me, we've already accepted one back. All right? If you don't like Glenn, come over here.
I will.
Okay?
Absolutely, I will.
I'll make sure he doesn't point anyone yet, just to make sure.
It's a little late
The
for
boys
that.
are gonna use the overtime anyway.
Yeah, there's not enough going around.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we're gonna miss you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
I really don't have anything prepared. I'm overwhelmed by the citizens, my fellow officers. This is overwhelming. It's bittersweet. I just want to say thank you to everybody that I've been involved with over the years. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve this town. I've loved every day of it. And my first day in Lynn is Monday, and my last shift here is Sunday, so I'm going right up to the end. I thank you all. I love you all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's get a picture. Yeah, yeah.
guys want to get in the photograph?
Sure, yeah. We're going to take a few minutes, let the police take some photographs. It will be closed for the season on this coming Saturday, December 14th at 3 p.m. The Town Hall holiday hours, Tuesday, December 24th, closed to the public. Wednesday, the 25th, is closed. And then the following week, December 31st, closed to the public, and Wednesday, January 1st, it's closed, the normal holiday hours. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the October 23rd, 2019 meeting. Josh? Yep. Motion's made and second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Before we get into the rest of these things, I was wondering if I could mention a couple of things.
Sure, you want me to finish reading just,
However you want to do it.
oh, you got it, would you? Well, we just finished this part under the town hall hours, okay? The winter parking ban will be, all vehicles must be parked off the street during the hours of 12 a.m. To 6 a.m. from December 21st through March 20th. And, go ahead.
Okay, I just had a few things here. I just wanted to mention that this past Saturday, November 30th, there was a nice gathering of supportive folks at the town wharf to dedicate the plaque that was mounted there to Max Carboni. So it was nice to see his friends and family and old teammates from Swampscott High and so on come together for that dedication. The plaque's at the far end of the wharf, if anyone wants to take a look at that. Another thing I wanted to mention was at the last annual town meeting, there was a wetlands bylaw study committee formed. That committee's been meeting for the last few months, monthly, and we're collecting all the facts about the wetlands bylaw to report out to the town at the next town meeting. But I wanted to encourage anyone that's interested to come to the next the next wetlands bylaw study committee meeting, which is January 6th at 6:30, to make any comments or any inputs. We want to make sure we address all concerns. We've had pretty good participation from the community at the last couple meetings, but just in case anyone had anything they wanted to add. Our special town meeting a couple weeks ago, we had a great turnout at maybe the biggest ever, I don't know, over 500, about 550 people. Went really smoothly. I've had a lot of good feedback about the new clicker voting. So thanks to our town clerk, Peggy Burrell, and town moderator, Dave Collin, for putting on a smooth and pretty brief meeting, and thanks to everybody for turning out. One more thing is that Northeastern University has submitted a notice of project change requesting to separate their proposed seawater intake from the rest of the project, which is covered in their environmental impact report. That was posted online November 22nd. It's a 1,250-page document, and comments are due by December 23rd. The town is going to submit a letter requesting an extension of that comment period, which may or may not get granted, but we'll be submitting that in the next day or two. And then I'd like to, encourage anybody else that wants to make comments on that. There were over 500 letters from concerned citizens and groups made the last time around. So it's a lot to go through, that 1,250-page document, but we'll be taking a look at that and formulating the town's comments on that request as well. That's all I had to say.
Good. Ross, I invited Ross up. She'd like to make an announcement concerning Max.
Okay, I would like to dedicate this year's Santa Parade to Max Carboni and his family.
Great idea, great suggestion. And by the way, stand there for a minute. As you all know, Ross retired from the police department, but she has not retired from the Santa's Parade.
That's right.
And I just want to thank you on behalf of all of the selectmen and the town manager and all the people of the town. You do an excellent job organizing the parade, and I think this is a great idea to name it after him.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roz. We're on to
2B?
what is it,
2B, I think it is.
I mentioned all that, the recompost.
Yep.
We're on the approve the minutes of the October 23rd meeting.
Yep, we did that.
Yeah, we did that.
The
So
next
we
one
approve the
is,
cemetery and rules regulation presented by Sue. Snow?
Yes.
You want to present that, or we're going to vote on this?
skip the motion, or?
Yeah, we'll skip the motion. The new rules and regulations were provided to the board a couple meetings ago, and we have a couple more edits to make, so we won't approve them tonight, but Sue and Willie are here to speak about, the process that they've gone through so far and what their intent are with these changes and some of the issues that we're seeing at the cemetery.
Well, thank you for having me here. As you know, I'm the caretaker of the cemetery, and there's a few rules that I like to see changed from over the years. A few of them are simple rules, like changing the date from November 15th to October 15th. It gives me another month to clean up, because as you can see, we had some snow here, and there's been a few instances in November before the ground's froze and you can't pick up the plants. So that's one of my changes I like to have. The other one is, the more important one is that, yes, we are running out of space, and the number one thing is people are buying cremation lots from a single grave. And that's it, one cremation for a single lot, which takes care of the real estate. Over the last year, we've sold 8 single lots for 2 or less cremations, which we have like 30 cremation lots out front. So that's my other thing is to change. And after talking to the chairman Lombard, it was suggested that, if someone wants to buy a single lot and put a cremation in, they might want to do a full burial afterwards. It would be my recommendation would be up to the Board of Selectmen to make that decision at that time. It would be a need-no basis from one time to another time. But selling cremation lots for single graves is, you got to run out of space within a year. So that's one of my recommendations. Also, in the back, we're about 2/3 of the way done with the lot that was made 10 years ago. So they're all pre-sold. And that's my concern. Like I said, I have cremation lots out front, and no one knows about them. So they don't want to put out back; they go out front. One cremation lot will hold 4 cremations, and that's my thing. You can't keep going same old, selling 1 or 2 for 1 or 2 cremations. It's not going to work. You got to run out. So that's my main concern about that. The other thing is that Tony and I and Sue had talked about is wording of the applicant. Who is the one that makes out the applicant? So our feeling is that it's immediate family who lives in Nahant will be the applicant. But we are still working on the wordage, so we'd like to get it back to at your next meeting to be approved.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Dave, hang on. I went down and I was talking to Dave, and he's got the cremation plots up the front on the left.
Yeah.
It's got about 30, 35.
35, yeah.
So we could sell those individual, cremation plots, and they don't have to buy a whole lot, without.
So the thing is about the cremation lot, I don't know if you know, but way in the back by High Street and Sunset is a whole row of cremation lots. People don't want to be put down there for obvious reasons. So what I did was, we have some land up front, which I, from the previous town administrator, asked me to mark out. So I marked out all cremation lots. So they are available up front if you don't want to be put down back. And that's why I believe that people are buying single graves. But it's up to the Board of Selectmen for you to designate if they can or they can't. Because you are the trustees of the cemetery.
Thanks, Dave. We're going to have the families, Tony, make a decision before we sell the lot on what they prefer. If it's going to be a full burial, fine. But we're running out of space. If they're going to have cremations, we could use these plots up front on the left. He's got plenty of room. He's got 30, I think 33, 34. Yeah, on both sides, yeah. And a lot of people are being cremated, and they don't have to buy a full lot and just put a cremation in. We'll as we go through and as the deaths occur, with the town clerk will have her advised of it, and the board will make sure that happens. we're gonna have to tell them they just can't buy a full lot, put a cremation. Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't see it in there. I had talked to him, and he said, this is fine, we can review all these, which we have already, we can add all that in for the new changes, and we can vote on it in 2 weeks. Okay? That'll take us plenty of time to review it, and if you get it to Tony, the board can review it at that time. And we'll have town council double-check that against the ordinance, the current ordinance, so that we have it. It also reminds me, and I think back, we need to stop preparing the cemetery, the second cemetery across the street behind the police station. We've got to stop preparing that and put funds away so that we could, once we do get filled, which... Yeah, 5 years, yeah, we should start planning that now. What we'll do is we'll put an article in the town meeting warrant in April so that we have funds to start that project. You know, it'll take us 5 years by the time you get filled down there, and then, and then we'll start placing the burials and the, both the full burials over there, plus you can get up in that cliff, you can probably build for the boxes, small boxes, so we're... Yes, I see, yeah. Right. Yeah, the cremation up, we reviewed those plans, we should bring those out, Tony, and start working on that now, so we don't get hit 5 years from now. Yeah, down the road. Yeah, no, they are, but we just gotta map it out and then start preparing that whole lot back there. And then figure out how many burials that would go in there, and we probably have to make a decision it probably won't hold, it'll take us probably 10 or 15 years to fill it. I hope, maybe longer, but... Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you, they put the, I'm not but that's, I've got to be on the bottom, I couldn't be on top, Anyways. Okay, by the way, Dave, I want to say this to you in the open mic and the Board of Selectmen. You're doing an excellent job. The cemetery looks fantastic. I've been down there checking, and your expertise is probably the best cemetery in the county, okay? And I've been to quite a few of them, and your performance is just superb. The place looks fantastic. Every year, without even saying, you get it prepared for Memorial Day and the holidays, and people have commented that to me, okay? I wanted to let you know that. In fact, Mr. Chairman, I move that we write a letter to Dave Wilson on his performance of maintaining and taking care of the cemetery for the past, I'm saying 30, 40 years, 45 years. And well, I was just thinking in my mind, appropriate gift for you. I don't know what it'd be, but we'll come up with it.
You got a new Kubota this year, so it's a pretty good gift.
No, I saw the new the lawnmower down there.
And a
He was
new
excited,
lawnmower. Yeah, you got a new lawnmower too.
Yeah, it's got, Well, it's tough to mow down there. You gotta move everything, and it's quite the project. But I wanted to thank you, your service. Just personally thank you. And we'll come up with an appropriate gift. I'm not sure exactly. It won't be a stone or anything, it'll be something nice. All right. Thank you, David. Sue. Okay. We mentioned the band, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, the next
Get
one is,
everything. Okay, up to the town minister's report.
well, we
You
got
got
one
one
motion
more.
here.
What
which
is the motion?
uh,
Oh, yes, yeah.
Move that the Board of Selectmen vote to accept a boat for the Nahant Fire Department from the Angulo family.
Second motion. Discussion. We want to thank the Angulo family for donating this fireboat. This is huge, and I know the firemen are quite pleased because some of these rescues they go out on, and it's like, I don't know how they get into that dinghy, you know, just the one engine. But this is something you go, take some rough seas, and especially for the safety of the firemen and the policemen that go with them sometimes, so which is huge. We should send a thank you note from the behalf of the Board of Selectmen to the Angulo family for that wonderful donation to the town. You want
No, that's great. I know, as you said, it's bigger and more rugged than
Yeah.
the last boat, which needed to be replaced, and so saves the town a lot of money and great outcome.
The boat has a market value of about $25,000.
Wow.
So it's a big save for the town financially.
Yeah.
And we talked about it at the special town meeting, so I be more than happy to put together a letter thanking the Angulo family for the donation.
And we'll make sure we vote it in with the board, you know, so thanking them personally from the Board of Selectmen and the citizens of the town as well, you know.
Yeah.
That was very nice of them, very nice. Good.
So I think we have to say aye.
We made a motion, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You ready?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So tonight, I just want to touch on a couple things. We are getting into the budget season and capital planning, so we're doing a lot of, diving into that. Busy time at the moment, but it's going to be here before we know it. We also signed a notice to proceed for 2 8-inch portable pumps. This is an effort that started before I actually came on board with some appropriation in the budget to help with flood remediation, and we got to supplement that with some money that we got from FEMA. So we have 2 8-inch pumps that we've should be here in 4 to 6 weeks that the town will own and have on the island. So for flood-like events, we're better prepared for those. Town paving was completed about a couple weeks ago around town, and we saved a certain amount of money for post-snow season, pothole season, so we can do repairs in the spring. But we got a bunch of work done over the last couple weeks. A bunch of roads got paved, especially in front of the school, that whole strip of Castle Road there in front of the Johnson School, which was very important. I want to thank the DPW and the police and the fire department and emergency management and the residents of the town for their coordination and their efforts with that most recent snowstorm. It was an early snowstorm before we even hit a parking ban, and we had no issues. Everybody got their cars off the street and let the DPW do their job, so I really appreciate that. The DPW also dealt with a small water main break up here on Rosemary in the middle of the night, so they were all out for many hours in a row. So I want to thank them publicly for all their efforts, and I also want to add a thank you to the Wharfinger, Brett Henry, DPW, Nahant Sailing Program, and the Board of Selectmen for coordinating, for your cooperation and help with the Max Carboni event last Saturday as well. And green communities, update on the streetlight conversion project. We have selected Tanko Lighting to perform our streetlight audit, and that'll be happening in January. So we're moving along with that process. Next step is to follow procedure on purchasing the lights from National Grid. Then we reconcile our audit to National Grid's audit, and then begin the work of converting. And then lastly, I want to mention that the Community Preservation Committee will be having meetings on December 9th and December 17th for folks that want to attend and learn about the committee and the application process and the upcoming, for the upcoming budget season.
When and where are those meetings?
Those are going to be here in the Town Hall, December 9th and December 17th. Take a look at the website for, I believe they're at 7 o'clock.
And the citizens for submitting articles, they have to be submitted prior to the end of January?
So, the Community Preservation Committee will announce those details at the meetings.
Okay.
I don't believe they've set an application deadline quite yet, but this is the kickoff. Starts on next week.
Usually it's the end of January.
Yeah.
That's normally, yeah,
Yeah, we have a couple projects in mind already on behalf of the town, so it'll be a busy season for them as well, once again. So,
That green communities streetlight swap out, that the return on investment in that is very short, right?
right, we were able to get another grant from the MAPC, which has a quick deadline. We're hoping to get an extension on that deadline because of the timing that it takes to actually purchase the lights from National Grid. But with that additional grant, plus the Green Communities grant, plus some rebates from National Grid, the return on that investment is less than a year. So we're hoping to get that project done as soon as possible. One, to realize savings for the upcoming budget season after that project is done, and two, so we can begin our second application to Green Communities, where we'll focus on internal lighting. So at the school, at the town hall, and other public buildings, converting our internal lighting to LED.
What's the energy savings in dollars, like per year on the streetlights? Remember that number? It was quite a bit. Maybe put you on the spot.
I don't recall the exact number, but the total project is around $160,000, I think, $170,000, the total project. And we're gonna have the return in less than, around 6 months.
Yeah.
So we should see some significant savings, which, with our budget, we're trying to find any ways to cut out some of those costs as quickly as possible, and at little cost to the town. So we're moving along. Tanko is one of 4 or 5 different companies that was vetted by MAPC, the regional planning group, and they were one of the best options for the town. So happy to be doing work on that, and thank Diane and Zach for leading the process on that. They're really making sure that we get steps done. So that's all I have.
Very good. Dave, also, I mentioned to the Midtown Administrator, we're gonna put lights on the, down in the cemetery in the main, like we discussed. Lights on the flag down there, and also put a plug down there for the microphones, for the people when we have the dedications, and the same at the Davis Memorial. He mentioned that he can fund that out of his current budgets, so that will hopefully get done within the next, probably maybe springtime, but the Davis Memorial will have a light on the flag, and then with a plug so we can plug in the microphones when we have a dedication down there, and the same in the cemetery. I want to let you know that your suggestion on that was huge, so I want to let you know. Tony, the town administrator, said he can fund it out of the current budgets and the line items from the various... Yeah. Yeah, it'd have to be underground, and we'd run it all the way back to, the shack. Yeah. But I want to let you know, your suggestion, and I followed up. I want to make sure. When I go down to the cemetery, Dave gives me all the ideas and suggestions, Yeah. Well, after 45 years, God, you've done a great job, by the way. I've already said that. Anything else, Tony? Okay. Josh, you have anything?
Nope.
Okay, we're going to be moving into the, we're going to go to an executive session, and we will not be coming back to a public meeting again. We've got a legal matter. Well, I'm going to cut out the citizens forum tonight because we're going to be in a long time in the executive session, so the board's going to be here quite a while, so unless is it very, very urgent that you speak? I mean, is there questions concerning what?
Alice Court, 7 Valley Road. At the special town meeting, there was mention about a subdivision plan that Northeastern filed to the town, gave to one planning board member and the town clerk, and maybe he gave 3 copies, and there was discussion about it, but people had very little information about what that was, so...
We're still working on that with town council about that.
Okay.
We don't have any answers for you.
Okay, thank you.
But it's going to be presented at the next planning board meeting, I think by Northeastern to the planning board, right? So keep your eyes peeled for the next planning board meeting.
Anyone else? Okay, the board's gonna, and town administrator, gonna move into an executive session, and we will not be coming back into public session. Hold on, excuse me.
I guess I gotta make a motion.
Thank you. The selectmen, formal meeting of the selectmen is over. Good night, thank you.